Okay, hello YouTube. I'm going to let my chatters gather. So if you're watching the recording, you might want to scoot ahead a few minutes while we get in and get all the hellos aside. Had to clear off my desk for these big papers today. I'm going to try to paint up some papers to make a journal that Kathy Arbor, if you haven't seen Kathy's channel, you ought to pop over. Hey, Joan. Pop over to Kathy Arbor, A-R-B-O-U-R. She does some really cool stuff and does live streams too. But she showed on her stream the other day a journal cover she made out of a big sheet of watercolor paper. And what she did, yay, Joan's still awake. She used a 18 by 24 piece of watercolor paper. Doesn't have to be anything overly expensive. 140 pounds. She said it was a good weight. Hey, Tori, welcome. So that's what I'm going by. I'm just going to paint up some papers today. And the cutting up of the journal and folding will probably come another day because this is going to take a while. These papers are big and you do both sides. Hey, Kathy. Creative Mess. Hello. Hey, Shauna. So I'm going to attempt. I was outside. I thought it would be a nice day to go outside to spray these because it was, hey, Pat, Terry, Vicky, hi. I went outside to spray these through stencils, as you can see. And since it was going to be close to 70 here again in Maryland tomorrow. Hey, Gail. Hey, Terry. So it's very windy. It was a mess. I was having to put bottles around the spray paint bottles around the papers to keep them down and not blowing away. And oh my gosh, I was chasing everything. And also I wanted to mention, hi, Shelly. That's a new name. Welcome. I wanted to mention, I have some of those Montana Gold spray paints. And these were not cheap. And I had these 3 cans outside with me. This one, as you can see, looks like a metallic rose gold, and it does really come out that shiny. It's called Copper Chrome. And it's Montana Gold. All 3 of these are clogged up. There's a whole bunch of paint still in there. I mean, I've used it a few times. But my black one, my silver one, and my copper chrome one, none of them worked. I tried to unclog them. Margarita, there's a new name. Hey, Bonnie. Gayla. Hello. Locked and loaded. Hey, Janice. Yeah, so anyway, it was quite the wrestling match to get these sprayed today. So here's a base coat on here. I'm going to do more to these. I didn't do it the same way Kathy did hers. Not this. Hey, Claire. Not this. These 2 pages anyway. She used Sandra. Hi, Susan. Sue. Welcome. Hey, there's Sue Evans. Sue, I saw your note right before I went on stream, but I'll try to hook you up with Jude. I think she'd like that. Hey, Terry. So anyway, for some reason, Siri's going off.
You'll need to unlock.
Oh, God. I want to be in a grocery store or something one day and say, hey, Siri, and see if everybody's phone lights up like mine just did. It's supposed to be tuned to your voice now, but we'll see. Hey, Linda. Anyway, the way Kathy did hers was she sprayed layers with the sprays like Delusions and Rangers and Lindy's sprays that are water reactive. And she sprayed over layers when they were still damp or wet. So her colors bled out more. These, I used the tinted sprays that Xandra sent me. And I used some of that silver. I guess the silver Montana did work because I do have some here. Right. So I sprayed some silver over that. So I'm not going to work with these today. I'm going to put these aside because these need more layers. I had an idea laying in bed last night, keeping me awake. There's another Claire. Hi, welcome. I'm going to put these over in the safe space. I just did 2 of them while I was out there. Xander, you should have seen it. Hey, Eileen, it was so windy outside. I thought it was going to be a great day to spray because it was around 70. However, I was chasing everything. Oh, mercy. So here's the pad of paper I got. Kathy used the Strathmore. It had the yellow cover to it, but they didn't have that when I went to Mike. Sorry, I'm trying to rearrange my camera. They didn't have that when I went to Michael's. Hey, Rachel. So I got this one, and it's a 400 series. It says best, superior, best. But it's 140 pound cold press. Hers was in a tablet, I think, and this is spiral, so I'm not sure with these. Hey, CB. Driving me crazy with your pop-ups. Oh, you mean my pop-up streams? Yeah, my whole life's a pop-up. I did, Linda. I turned them upside down. I rinsed them out. Hey, Geraldine. I did everything that I knew to do to them over and over again. No worky. Hey, Nana. Hey, Colleen. Another Gail. All right, let me pull a piece of this out of here. Try not to knock the camera out of the ceiling when I do it. I'm anxious to measure this to see where it's 18 by 24, which is what's needed for the cover that Kathy Arbor did on her stream the other day. So if you guys didn't catch Kathy's stream, she streams live too, but she did one the other day that I missed. And she used 18 by 24 paper. Hey, Rachel, let me know when you figure out how many cabinets you're going to need. And Thomas said he's got enough orders depending on what you order. I had a couple more local friends that wanted a couple. Did I miss CB's witty reply? So I got this ruler, 24-inch ruler, because I didn't have one. Oh, good. It goes right to the holes. So I can cut those off. Right there. That's good. That's what I figured it did, but you never know. Hey, Dot. CB, I posted on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, both my Facebook pages. I can't do the pre-scheduled streams because I don't use the OBS software or whatever other software it takes to do that. Whenever I post that I'm going to do a future stream, and where it goes out where you can see where you can set a reminder, when people go get the reminder and they go and they click on that link, when I get online, I'm going to everybody's sitting over here on a stream and I'm over here streaming. So it doesn't really work for me. Hey, is Kathy here? Hey, Janet. Oh, no, Colleen's probably replying. Sorry. Okay. All right. So I had an idea and I wanted to, oh, shoot. Well, this one's kind of clean. I got one bucket of clean water, sort of, kind of. I wanted to try this on a small sheet of watercolor paper to see how it's going to work first. I'll call you every time. God's servant. Here's a new name. Welcome. Happy New Year. I like to see new names in here. All right. Lover. If you're anybody wondering what that is, that's the name of the Etsy site where I got all that script washi tape. And apparently, some of you, actually, no, I just revealed a piece of tape. I'm going to get rid of that. Cola. Welcome. Hey, Kathy. All right, I want to try a smaller watercolor piece of paper. Still big, but smaller. This is the kind of pad that Kathy had, but in the 18 by 24, they did not have this one. See, it's a pad. You don't have to deal with those scraggly holes from tearing it out. But I'm going to see. I got some of this Wood watercolor. WOAD from another shopping maniac friend that hooked me up because they only sell it in France and they won't ship outside of Europe. So had to try it. It was actually very expensive. Not this, but by the time shipping from France to the UK to here, it was a pricey little adventure. But, you know, what are you going to do? It's kind of like an indigo color. I need to get a little palette out. I got all my palettes away because I haven't been using watercolor, which is a sin if you can see how much watercolor I have. Where the hell did I put them? Hang on. Okay, it's about the 9th drawer I've opened. 10. There we are. Lucky 11. Found it. I'm just going to take one of these just to mix up some of that one color in. And I did something playing one time when I first started doing this scripting stuff. Hey, Linda. Yeah, Xandra's online shop, paintandpaperstudio.com. Gayla just posted the link in chat. She's got a lot of new stuff in the shop. Uh-oh, that quick, I forgot what I stood up to go get. What was I getting? Really? Oh, I know. It's back. Oh, jeez. I wanted to show you, if I can find it, a piece of, where I used watercolor. And I put watercolor on a piece of, I think it was rice paper. And then I scripted on top of it with, I think it was Sumi ink, and let it bleed while it was still wet. And it looked really cool. Really. I see that piece of paper every time I rifle through this one drawer. And now, of course, that I'm looking for it, I can't find it. Come on. Is that always the way for you guys? Is it just my luck? Well, hell. Anyway, it looked really cool. How is that possible? How is that possible? I know I took a picture of it too. Let me see. I know you guys love when I rifle through pictures to show you something. She said with sarcasm. That's way up here when I first started dipping my toe over the line into this world. Ooh, that's way back. Take way too many pictures, if that's possible. All right, let's see. It's right around in here. Here we go. See how that kind of bled out? I love that. And I thought that would look really cool on here as a real first layer. Vinalda, hello, welcome. Kate the Skate. Hello, my dear. Haven't seen you for a while. Patty told you the brand name of stencil she's using. I'm a little late. Mostly eye stencils, Valanda. Joan and I both have a line of stencils there at eyestencils.com. And that's mostly what I use today. Probably all that I use today, actually. All right, so I want to put You know what? I'm going to go get some clean water real fast. Forgive me. I thought I was prepared. I actually came down and cleaned off my desk to make room for those big papers. And I don't have clean water. So hang on. Chat amongst yourselves. Almost done. All right. Sorry about that. Real life, people. Real life. My memory shot. That's just the way I roll lately. What they painted all Britons with to go to war. Oh, really? Well, we're going to war with this paper. All right, I'm going to wet a good bit of this paper. Not sopping with puddles. I just want it to go, get a good sheen on it. And that's going to let that sit a minute while I prepare some of this paint. I'm going to use one of these brushes. It's a cheapy brush from Amazon. There's a set of 3 of these. That's the brand. Anybody know what that says? Good luck. But there's a set of 3. Actually, I think these were the ones I got that were in. I have no schedule, Amalia, and until I retire, I won't have one. It's just my schedule's too crazy. But I do post it on all social media that I can, Twitter, Instagram, and both my Facebook pages. Yeah, I just, most of the time, this time I had like an hour warning. So that was a big surprise. Yeah, I'll call everybody. Everybody send me your phone number. I'll call everybody when I'm, CB was kidding me earlier, Amalia, about calling her because she didn't get it. No, she didn't know either. All right, I'm going to prep some of this. It's a pretty, if you like indigo, you'd love this. Oop. See, already we got a mess, so that's about normal. And I don't know how this is going to come out at all. All right. So right off the bat, here we are, but that's okay. Lorna, it's, see, I remembered. Patti Tolley Parrish is my personal one where I post most everything. And then my art page is Inky Obsessions. I'm going to lift my computer up again on these jars that I hid from myself the other day. It's running really. I don't know if you guys can hear that humming in the background. I don't want it to get overheated. Oh, Eileen, I know you love a good mess. Hey, Judy. Okay, so let's see. That already dried up. So I'm going to put some more down. And I'll try different inks. I'll try this stuff. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit on the back so this doesn't curl too bad. It's not a really heavy paper. So we'll just do that to try to get a little anti-curling action going there. All right, let's see what we get. Hey, Sherry. Now, I know Sherry's not Sherry, but I can't. Is it Jackie?
Sorry, I missed that.
Sweet
Could you
Lord,
say it again,
Siri.
please?
Okay, let's just try to get something going here. That's really running fast. It's kind of cool though, thinking about a background. Nancy, hello. It almost blurs out to nothing this wet. I want to see what that looks like. I'm going to let this dry up a little bit more. Maybe I can pick a little bit of that water up that's left or spread it a little bit more so we don't have to wait too long. Let's see what it looks like over here. 5 years. Aren't you sick of me yet? Hey, Rosemary. Welcome. All right. Let me looking away for a minute here. This really moves. This is a pigment that really moves on the paper. I don't know if you can see how feathery and watered down that got, but still for like a background layer and then to come over top of it with something, I think might be kind of cool. I didn't get it wet over here yet. Now I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to try it with Sumi ink and see what happens. What happens? Now I just put my brushes in here. Where? Oh, there they are. Okay. There they are. I'm going to use this bigger one. They'd probably be better when I had a few drinks, Eileen. You don't know, me and a few drinks, I'd be on the floor. I'm telling you, half a wine cooler and a hot dog, I'm all yours. That's what I used to tell Dave. He took the hint. Oh, that really travels too. Let's see what these look like. They'll probably turn into blobs. Maybe this is going to travel too much. It's kind of cool looking though with that shadow around it. Well, I got to have dinner, Soul. I'm not that Rachel, I got to have dinner too. I'm not that cheap. I'm not free, but I'm reasonable. See, so that's kind of cool how that blurs out with that shadow there. That's very dark though. Oh, you know what? Let me try. And I already know the answer. So why do we want to try? But we're going to try. Let's try one of these inks. Hang on, let me get a couple more. Let's grab this little palette. I'm going to try these. The one with the black with the gold trim that comes around it, only on rice paper usually. And this is just pure gold. Let's see how these work. The Sumi ink you get, I don't know. I kind of like that cloud around it. What are you using again? So the blue was this Wood Aquarelle extra fine stuff that you'll see Robin use. And you can only get that in France. And then this is just Sumi ink. Judy, that's just playing hard to get. I do too, but this still has a cool coloration to it over here. I might do, I don't know. Let me set this aside for a second and let that have its way with itself, as it were. Watch, this will be end up a full day of experimentation and I'll get nothing painted. So this is the gold, Sumi. You know, the other day it hit me and I thought, I wonder if there's a black. Do you see Tokyo Pigment Black Block ink? Did you see? No, I didn't. Like those sticks, do you mean, Z? Now this one you have to really shake. It's got a ball in there. It sometimes gets settled into there it goes. It just broke loose. There's a mixing ball in there. I don't think this is going to work, actually. And I'm not going to put this in the palette until I'm about to use it so that it doesn't settle apart from the gold from the ink. And I put a thinner coat of water on here now. Might have had it too wet before. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. Let's just do, I'm going to let that sit for a second until we get down to a minus 30, Lorna. It's almost 70 here today. I had the air conditioner on last night and I got the windows open today. It's crazy. We're in Maryland. Where are you guys? I know I saw Cece say that they had a big ice storm and she's in Montreal. I need another brush. I'm going to grab this one here. And this is the gold. Let's see how this works with the water. Well, there's not as much water, but that's still staying kind of in place more. Maybe it's not quite the Traveler. Yeah, that's barely moving. Again, not as wet. Let's see what happens with that. Let me try this just damp now with this again. We're back to wood. Woo-wood. So that's the first when it was more wet. And that's the damp, which of course it would travel less if it's just damp. And let's try the Sumi. The sheen is gone off of that now, actually. And I want a little bit of sheen on there. Just a little teeny tiny bit. I'm just going to have a more damp brush than wet. Let that sit for a minute. I see him saying, hi, Brittany. That's a new name, but hi, Brittany. Welcome. All right, let's see how this goes. That really does move. I'm going to let that sit another minute. I still see the sheen on there. I'm going to wait till the sheen goes away a little bit more. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that gold ink off my pen. And since this is sitting here looking at me, I'm going to shoot some of this. This is my rose gold watercolor that I make. If anybody's interested in this stuff, Zandra sells it on her online store, Paint and Paper Studio.com. And I don't think this is going to move. I think the metallics kind of are heavy and just sink more than they. What is the gold ink? It's just a Sumi ink I got on. There's nothing in English on it. It's a Sumi ink I got on Amazon. You can just go there and put in gold Sumi ink, and you should find it. Patty, make the best symbols. Any tips for us? You'd have to be in my brain, and you don't want to go there, honey. No, I don't know. I just kind of let the brush go, and my pictograph images are always in my head when I do it. So I find myself reaching the same way a lot of times that remind me of my pictographs, which, by the way, I've created a second set of those. Going to fly a kite. That's a cute name. You'd be flying one today here. It would be flying you. It's windy. But welcome. What was I saying? Oh, new pictographs. So when we do the next stencil release, there'll be new designs. And I'm trying to incorporate a little, some of them look a little like some of my scripting characters, but instead of so free-flowing, I tried to make them more, I don't know how to say it. Not as loose. Is that what I want to say? See, I've talked and my paper's dried up again. But I think the metallics, just the nature of the metallics, they don't, I can't script and talk at the same time, apparently. Oh, I know, Lorna, sorry. I know, I'm an enabler. I'm a bad, bad lady. See, that's still not moving a lot. This does actually, this rose gold, when I do my UPO abstracts, it moves. Hey, Elaine. Hey, Regina. She hasn't told us her name yet. Oh, Susan, she lives in Okay, I'm confused now too. Who are we calling Brittany? I'm an enabler. Oh, Lordy. Doesn't make me a bad person. I'm just showing you things. I'm not suggesting you buy them. Eileen does that. All right, let's go back here. This has just a little bit of a sheen left on it. Of course, now I'm going to put my hand in this. This has just a little bit of a sheen left on it. It's still really spreading, but more concentrated. That's Sumi Ink's really a spreader. Be quiet, Gayla. Hey, Phil. Welcome. I do the same thing, you guys. There's a lot of YouTube channels I watch, and I end up spending money I shouldn't be spending. That's still really moving on that. Just that barely had a sheen on it. So this is kind of cool looking, actually, on the wetter stuff. See how that clouded around there? You can still sort of see my image. Focus for mother. There we go. So you can kind of see the image that was originally down there. But it just really, I guess because it's such a dense color, it'll color the paper, and then parts of it flow out. But this still looks kind of cool for the background. Now, what to do? I can't put too much of the Sumi down on these papers. I have see that's the confusing part. And it's Katrine. Oh, you live in Brittany. Oh, so You know what this is. There you go, girls. There's your supplier. You can become people's personal shopper for the wood. So now let's think about this. If I do any of this, hey, Deborah, on the big paper, it's water reactive. So I don't want it to be all black. I want it to be kind of a pop of black. But if I well, you know what? Hey, Xander, are those tinted sprays, are they water reactive? Cotton and rice paper absorb the ink. And well, I guess might have a teeny weeny bit of cotton in it. It's cheaper watercolor paper. They're not okay, so let's try this. Because I'm thinking about this. If I start doing this on this big paper, anything I go over it with, it's going to re-wet that and make it move. I'm going to end up with probably a black and gray lump. But I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice one of those I sprayed this morning. Oh, hang on. Let me grab one of those big pieces. Maybe I'll have to tear it up and make it an experimental sheet so that I can manage it a little bit better. I'll keep the one I like the best for a possible future book cover. Well, oh, that side's pretty. They're both kind of cool. Wow. Which one to pick? Oh, it doesn't matter, does it? No. Okay. No need to be too indecisive. So this is one of the pages I took outside in the high winds and sprayed with stencils today to get a base layer down there. And I used the sprays called Tint It that Xandra sent me. I think she got them at Michael's. Wonder what it looked like on hot press watercolor paper. Less spreading. I don't know, but I don't have hot press in 18 by 24. My function of light. Hello, welcome back. My project that I'm working toward is a journal cover that you, Eileen, it's Tint It sprays. Let me show you one. They're translucent. And it gets cut and folded and scored to make a journal cover all in one piece. Kathy Arbor demonstrated that technique. Here it is. This one's called Jade. It's a teal color. Fast drying, sheer color, paper fabrics, trims, wood, and more. And this is this color here that you see. Oh, you're welcome. So Z's saying they're not water reactive. So let me fold this just in half. Just enough so I can rip this bad boy in half and sacrifice it. I can always do it again, right? You guys are worth it. Oh, mercy. Where is my handy dandy bone? Oh, there it is. Bone folder. Get that out of my way. So this was just sprayed on here as a first layer. So when Kathy Arbor did this, she did water reactive little sprays like from Lindy's and Ranger and Eileen, you probably remember which ones. she used more, but she used them kind of wet on wet. She sprayed a stencil and moved it, and when the stencil got wet, she turned the stencil over and used it as a stamp. So her color, hey Marcia, her colors kind of blended, and was really pretty. But Xander suggested trying this. She tried this the other day, and I thought, well, it's a nice day. It's almost 70, with about a 30-mile-an-hour wind. You know, what are you going to do? I'll cut this in half again so I can do it within my little window here, and don't have to move every time I turn the page. All right, there's one, and we'll just tear this into quarters. So what this started out, 24 by 18. So what are these, 9 by 12 quarters, I guess. I know. I got all the windows open, Marcia, and I had the air conditioner on last night. Can you tell me the name of the gold ink? I can't find it. So, Sue, are you talking about the Sumi ink? The Sumi ink has no branding on it except for that. I got it on Amazon, and I remembered that I searched gold Sumi ink or Sumi ink gold, and it popped right up. If that's the one you mean. If you mean this gold, this is my rose gold watercolor. Xander makes this using my recipe. It's creamer watercolor pigments, which are really high quality pigments, and sells it in her shop online, which is paintandpaperstudio.com. Take care, Phil. So, okay, let's get her going. So I'm going to wet this. And we'll see what happens. So far, they're not moving. I put a little in the back. It's starting to warp a little bit. Just like Gayla's little brain. Oh, I didn't mean to apply your brain was little, but that's what I said, isn't it? I didn't mean that. I meant your cute brain. Oh, now what's happening? Today is Chelsea's birthday. Make sure everything's okay. Yep, okay. That one I can check later. All right, now I'm going to let this kind of absorb a little bit, and we'll see what happens. I embrace my evil. Oh my. Just reading. I didn't have a stroke. I'm just reading the chat as I let this sheen absorb a little bit. Not Charlie. All right, I'm just going to do, let's just do a shape here and see what happens with this. This is the wood. We'll see what happens to that. Isn't that creative? All right, let's see what this is doing. Turn this daylight lamp on. Yeah, I can see it a little bit better. All right, let's see what happens with the Sumi. Okay, oops, that's a big blob on the tip there. Look how much that's not running on here. What the heck? That's weird. Did it dry? It didn't dry that much, I don't think. Wow, that's interesting. Maybe it was drier than I thought. Okay. Watching the sheen. I see an Andrea must have come in. Hello, Andrea. Andrea, I'm not sure. No, it's not BP paper. It's Strathmore 400 series. Same stuff I've been using all morning. I just tore one down that's already had paint on it. There we go. It was just not wet enough, I guess. Okay. So I'm trying to pay attention to the sheen that I got there. Let's see what that looks like as it dries. So that's good to know. But all the other stuff is going to be, hey, Tam. Sue, maybe message me on Facebook. I don't know if you missed this, but this is what I got on Amazon. There's got no English branding on here at all. But I just searched for Gold Sumi ink. But Facebook me on. I'll try to direct you. So that's holding up pretty well. But when I do any other kind of inks or watercolor, that's going to run, right? So let's do this. Or I let this dry. Let's see what happens over top of this. The wood. I can't say that with a straight face. Oh, it's not on the UK Amazon. Facebook me, Sue, and remind me. It's still cold. I know that's still damp. So it's probably going to do what this did over here. We'll see. Yeah, so that's pretty much just sitting there, which is good. So if I let the watercolor dry, hey, Jean. Interesting. So on just dry watercolor paper, that's just going to sit up like that, which is kind of good to know. But now I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I had planned on using like watercolor as a first layer. I guess I'd have to do that and let it dry and maybe put a little bit of this in while it's wet, like a symbol here and there scattered across the page. So I didn't have too much. Gayla, I'm going to leave that up to your discretion. Sue's going to the poorhouse. We'll meet you there. I remember running into one lady at a retreat years ago, and she said her husband used to always say, "You're spending too much money on art supplies. What's going to happen when you die?" She said, "I'm taking with me." He said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "I'm going to decoupage my coffin and store all my stuff in it so it's ready for when I go." Oh, I see what this is. I had some overspray because of the wind outside. I did these pictographs in that silver chrome and did this circle stencil. And I don't know if you can tell. Probably not, because it's not going to focus. It doesn't even look metallic there. But in these characters that are watered down, there's overspray that's even in there. Why doesn't my camera focus anymore? Ugh. I hope Logitech comes out with an app. Hey, Lucy. I hope they come out with an app for my Logitech webcam on my new MacBook Pro laptop. It doesn't work with 32-bit apps anymore. So I lost my camera controls app for my Zoom and where I can set the autofocus and all that kind of stuff. And I'm waiting for them to come out with a 64-bit one so I can have that control back again. Your children are going to inheritance going to be art supplies. Hey, not a bad deal if they're like us. Judy, if you tried to put a link in here, since you're not a moderator, your links won't show to us in chat. Minus 39. Oh, centigrade. Okay. I don't know what that is. Anything with a minus is still going to be cold, Fahrenheit or whatever. But your 0 is our 32 degrees Fahrenheit, right? So it's pretty chilly. Okay, I'm stalling because I'm thinking. And you know what a strain that is. So what do I want to do here? Do I want to just wet this whole big sheet? Throw some like big swooshes of this stuff in the background. And one of these, like here and there on it. And let that dry and then come back with some other sprays. But when I do that, this ink's going to run again, isn't it? Surely it is. Well, let's just do this. Let's see what happens. I'll use this one because this one's kind of munged up anyway. Let's just this is just a wet brush. Huh, actually that's not really moving. Does it dye the paper because of how? Let's just re-wet the whole thing and see what happens. See, these experiments are saving you guys time and money. So the money, hey Boho Diva, Sumi inks. This is Sumi ink. This is the Wood pastel and watercolor form. My handmade rose gold watercolor and some gold Sumi ink is what I've played with so far. Well, that's true, Claire. Hello, that's obvious. Why didn't I think of that? Thank you. That's why I keep you guys with me. I'm a danger to myself when I'm down here alone. Put gold on top of the wonderful black. Oh, that's what I started to do over here. Hang on. We got another experiment here to do yet. Let's just flip this over. Wet this. I wanted to try that gold that I was shaking earlier, the black with the gold pigment in it. So most of you guys have seen me use this some time ago, but I think a lot of you might have it as well. This is Yasu Tomo, traditional Chinese ink, golden black it's called. No? Really? There we go. So this dries I'll show it on rice paper so you see what it does. But let me get this. There's a mixing bowl. There it goes. A mixing bowl in here you have to break loose. Hang on. Let me pull one of these papers out of here to show you what this looks like. And really, I'm not going to be able to find that one either. You have got to be kidding me. Here it is. Oh, I knew you were in there. So this is a sample of this ink on rice paper. And see how, let me try to get one up here to focus. It comes, the ink is going to be pitch black when I pour it out. And rice paper, for some reason, does this to it. It pulls the black out to the edges and causes like an outline on the scripting. And you see all the gold metallic. It's crazy when you see it. It's like an optical illusion. And I've only ever gotten it to work on rice paper. So, did you see the Sumi ink comes in water? Actually, Amalia, funny you say that. I started to say this earlier, and of course, Squirrel ran by and got me off track. Hey, Sharon, take out the nozzle and soak it in either turpentine or mineral. For those sprays, I'll give that a try. But anyway, look what this ink looks like. When you dump it out, I'm just going to put a little bit out here, right? It's black. Black like regular Sumi ink. Now, it's probably going to only look black over here. Get a little more water on here. Right? And you don't see the gold in there. It just looks black. Now I'm going to do this over here where it's dry as well. And just for giggles to see what happens. Right? It looks black. And with the water, it's only going to look black. I don't know if when it spreads out, if you'll see the gold come up at all. Let's see what happens when that dries, right? So that's really running because of the water I put down there. So let's see what happens. So that's black, right? Black, black. Now, just for giggles, I'll show you guys because there's a lot of people online. You probably didn't see this before. There's a piece of rice paper, right? Watch the magic unfold before your very eyes. So I want the textured side up. Where's my brush? It goes on black and it turns gold before your eyes. Can you see it happening? It's crazy. You can still see where it's wet. It looks black. And it takes a minute for some of them. And it depends on how wet it is, how wet your brush is with the ink, how much of the black outline you see. So let me do it with a really wet brush and see if that makes a difference. I think that's what I figured out the last time. But again, I forget everything. Okay, so let's just do this with a much wetter brush. I'm keeping it really wet. I'm just kind of scribbling now, just trying to get some down here quickly that's wet. I'm waiting for it to dry. See around these three little bits right there? It's outlined in black. This very tip up here is outlined in black. It's fine and not focusing, so I don't know if you can see that. You'll just have to trust me. Have you tried jelly plating with that paper? With the rice paper? Yeah, I did, and I think it was a little... fragile. What is she saying here? When you buy rice paper, be sure not to order the rice paper tissue to blot your face. You have to have a big face to use this piece. I'm just saying. Bottle says golden black. Yeah, and they also make a silver, which does the same thing. So I'm seeing if any of this changes. Let me try something here. Why is this? I'm going to make this really wet. I'm going to mix it up a little bit in case it settles in there. See what that does. I don't remember how I did that that last time. I'll have to go back and look. Squirrel Wait, sue me. Sweet Jesus. I'm going to stop everything and finish that sentence. The other night I was sitting around thinking about ink, and I was looking for something. I don't know what it was. I thought, hey, I wonder if they make white sumi ink. And so I Googled it, and they do, but it's fairly new. And gosh, what was it called? It was a Japanese ink, I think. Anyway, I couldn't find it anywhere in stock except for John Neal Booksellers, I think it is. Neal. John Neal Booksellers. They had it on there, and I ordered a bottle of that. So we'll see how that works on dark papers, but I think that would be cool. I don't know what's going on here. Let me just make a big blob of this here. Let's see what happens with that. I know that's wet. This is totally out of control here. That's almost all gold. Where does the black ink go? Oh, look. There it goes. I never noticed that before. Oh my gosh. Ha! Apparently I don't flip my papers over once I do that. Isn't that funny? Sweet Jesus. Oh. Well, there's your answer. Isn't that I'm like stunned at that. The gold comes to the top. However, it doesn't do that. Well, wait a minute. Hang on. Take my glasses off. So on watercolor paper, now I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. This looks like a dark bronze ink instead of stark black. Let me put Sumi next to it so you can see what I'm talking about. Oops. You can see. Come on, focus. For the love of Pete. Can you see that at all? There you go. Maybe a little bit. See the golden? There you go. There you go. Look quickly. That's showing a little bit, and that's Sumi ink. So it's definitely a difference on watercolor paper than on other paper. And look. Oh, look. Okay. In the sheen, it's starting to come up gold on here. Ha! We might be on to something, people. Hang on. Let me, this caught my eye. Squirrel. I love how shiny that rose gold is. It's like chrome. So, it's odd that this paper I did before, see how almost every character has the black out. Maybe it's a different, it's a different rice paper. Interesting. Huh. Lessons to be learned. So I know people that didn't know about that ink are going crazy about that ink. So Patty, have you used this ink through a stencil? I have not. but I guess we're going to. Like on wet paper, so it kind of does this blurry thing and leaves the gold behind, Eileen. That might be cool. Why do I need Eileen's approval for everything? Let's just do this. I'm never going to get this journal made. Down a rat hole, I'm telling you. Oh, mercy. I'll show you this too. This is the silver one. It does the same thing, just in silver. What's the back side? Backside of the, oh, good question. Oh, it's black. Ah! Sweet Moses. Never looked. Maybe pixie spray in the stencil so it won't bleed. I think I kind of want it to bleed though. Yes, Eileen has the power. All right, I'm going to forget what I have where. Let me shake this up. This is the silver one. Since we're going deep into mad scientist mode, let's just do it all. Maybe I just do a cover in all inks. Oh, I'll put my schmutzy finger on that. All right, let's grab a stencil. This is the one on top, so we'll use that. It's a mask, actually. But what the heck? Randy and Teresa are going. Yes, they are. I need a makeup. Really? All my makeup sponges are... I'm out of makeup sponges in my makeup sponge drawer. So I found a little tip of one here. Well, that's dried up. Hang on. It's actually called Creativation now. They changed the name of CHA. It was Craft and Hobbyist Association, maybe, something like that. And now it's called Creativation. Let's put a little bit more of that down there. And all right, Eileen, this is all. Oh, shit. Look at that. It blended over into there. I'm going to get some of that pounced out of there a little bit. It's not too wet. And let's just see what happens, shall we? That's almost dry down here and warped. Gayla. Somebody mentioned Gayla's name? Oh, no, I just said warped. You know I love you when I make fun of you all the time. See, that's coming out real bronzy over here. My stencil's all pretty silver from when I sprayed it with that silver paint this morning. And this was just on damp paper. It's still running. But you're starting to see some of the gold come up in there. Which is very interesting that it does it on this paper. This looked great on your cover. So this is getting more dry now, and you see more of the gold. But it's kind of cool how sketchy, ethereal, cloudy, drifty it looks. Huh. How about that? Okay, so I was going to show you this is the gold. Okay, I'm going to wipe that off. Let's put this aside. Let's bring out another piece of rice paper. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use a different kind of rice paper this time. That was early on, so that was probably a different rice paper that I had at the time that I don't know that I have any more of. Is it this one? Oh, no, that's the same one, I think. No, it's not. Is it? Who knows? This is the one I'm using now. Again, available on Amazon. Even though it says produced for Daiso, I can't find that on their website. Let me make that clear that I can't find it. I'm not that bright, so that might be why. Okay. Did you ever end up finding what? Yes, Kathy. I got it at John Neal Booksellers. It's a new product. I think it was a Japanese, cute little short squatty bottle. It's on the way. So we'll try that on darker papers when that gets here. Okay, so this is the silver that's like the gold, where it's supposed to do that disappearing ink act. All right, so here's the silver. I want to make it wetter too. It's so cool to watch this in person, how it's black and it just, boom, goes to silver. It's not showing as shiny in the camera as it is. There you go. See the little black outline there on the little dots underneath that little character there. Cool, huh? Kathy Arbor. Well, we started out with me trying to paint some papers like you did for your journal cover. So everybody in chat, while Kathy Arbor that just joined chat, go over to her 3 dots and click there and go to her channel and flag that. You'll want to follow her, and you can go back and see the video that inspired me to go down this rabbit trail and not be doing a journal cover at this moment. But I sprayed a couple this morning, and I've actually torn one of them up. I use the tinted sprays that are permanent and sprayed it outside. And now I've torn one up to try experiments with using Sumi ink over it and see what runs and what doesn't run and all that kind of stuff. So we went down the rabbit hole. It's Eileen's fault. I blame Eileen. Oh, thanks for the link, Gayla. Is that for the paper? Or the ink? Something. Yeah, compare your prices, boho, on different places. I remember when I first bought this, I paid like $18 for it at a brick and mortar store, I believe. And then I got it on Amazon for like $8. I just read function of light. What is your name, Function? You're here among all the dysfunction. Judy, I'm with you. Lordy. So, yeah, anyway. So what was I going to do? Oh, I know what I was going to do. Hang on. Let me wet this again. I'm going to see if the silver does the same. And look, there's where all the black ink goes. Oh, mercy. So we put this aside. I have a lot of stuff aside. So, Cass, this is what they're talking about. This ink is what I was playing with. Really? It's not going to focus. Come on. Really? Oh, this thing being backwards drives me crazy. Well, it's not going to fit. It's Yasatomo ink. That one's called Golden Black, and the other one is Silver Black. But this is what happens when you use it on rice paper. The black goes away. It comes out completely black in the dish, like these two. That's gold and that's silver. But it does this on rice paper. And all the black, much to my surprise today, goes back here. There, Gail will put the link up for the, hey, Lolly, welcome. All the black falls to the bottom, so it's underneath there. So that's the gold, and then the silver. I'm going to do the silver on watercolor. I got a whole mishmash of mess going here to try to see before I commit to a bigger sheet of paper. I should just do it like Kathy showed it. And but on other papers, Kathy Arbor, that ink doesn't split. You just see the black. And I tried that on watercolor paper earlier, and you can see this blob is Sumi ink, and this is that golden black ink. And you can see on color paper, you do see the bronze kind of color in it, where the gold's in there. It doesn't fall through the paper, and it doesn't split. The black still stays there, but the gold's showing. And then I wet the paper because I was looking at images like, where did I put it? Like adding these images like this, Kathy, to the watercolor journal, to the journal cover paper. And I love how it bled, the Sumi ink bled. So that's where the rabbit hole came in when I was thinking, like, okay, what can I put on there? Like the inks you used, they would all run if I went back and wet them to make this go again. And vice versa. If I put this down first and then sprayed your inks, I don't know what would happen, but that's going to be the next thing we do. I should just do it like you did it and move on. But no, I had an idea laying in bed last night. So here we are. Oh, that rabbit hole's getting deep. $4.69. Wow. And that's where you want to check it out. Right, Kathy, that's what we're thinking. Yep, the black just bleeds through. So I also did the Sumi ink. This is the Wood watercolor, these shapes. And while they were still just a little bit damp, I used Sumi ink over them, and then it stayed put. It didn't move. And these were just barely damp, and it moved. So it's very temperamental, much like myself. What was I going to do? See, you guys, it's your fault. Oh, this. I was going to wet this and do some of the silver on here and see what happens. I'm going to go over that and see if that re-wets that. Yes, it does. Look, it's smearing it right there. See? These are the things you learn here. You can save your supplies and money and headache. Let me do all the screw-ups for you. You're welcome. Oh my God, Lorna, I can't tell you how many times I reorganize or try to rearrange. Can never find anything. I function much better when it's all over the place. I think. Maybe I don't. Who knows? Kathy, you're saying watering down the inks. The Sumi ink? Oh, hey, Susan. Wood. Oh, okay. I was pronouncing it like I heard Robin pronounce it. Road. So it's woad. I like that word better. Because every time I say wood, I want to giggle. Woad. Woad. Sounds like I can't talk right. Okay, the chat's so busy, I'm looking at the chat and not paying attention. I know that's a shocker to most of you. Okay, so this has a little bit of a sheen on it. Let's go do something over here with the silver. And let's see what happens there. I can start to see a little bit of sheen as that's starting to settle where it doesn't look stark black. I don't know if you guys can pick that up or not. But I like that cloudy effect around it for just like a little background image. Maybe I should just do that and then spray it and then come back with all the other stuff. So water down the Sumi ink for what? You lost me there. For what purpose would I do that? What application? Now see, look how the stencil settled out. That's almost all the gold there. And maybe that happened when I re-wet it and gave the opportunity for the black to go down more. I don't know. But yeah, more and more as this dries, I'm seeing the silver. So this might be really interesting to do. See how that's starting to look? I'm kind of liking the silver more than I like the gold. Interesting. Knucklehead. You would be right. But wait till I get these new flat files. I can put all these big papers that are laying everywhere somewhere. The only thing is, I'm not going to be able to put them where all my other papers are that are more readily available and handy to reach right behind me, sort of behind me. That's the only shame of the whole thing. I guess I could move. Oh God, that would be a pain in the neck. Oh, I don't even know how we get them in there. Oh, I don't even want to think about that now. Made me a little nauseous. Hey, Brady. Black would be thin and seep in the paper more. Huh, I don't know. Well, let's just do this. Let me spray this with some water up here and pick up some much thinner ink off the stone. And on wet paper, Kathy? That's dry. Let's put a little bit of wet on here. Yeah, this is dry. And it pretty much looks the same as it does when it's not watered down. A Sumi explosion. That would be messy. This really looks cool. I'll show you that in a minute. That's with it watered down. That kind of did the same as what it did earlier. It doesn't really move on the dry paper, but look at the silver. That's pretty much a Hello Lover right there. I still get the cloudiness. I get the black outline around the silver, and the silver's not as stark as it is on rice paper. Right, like that. And reflective as that is, that's pretty dry now. So maybe you can really see the shine in it now. He's shiny. All right, so it's not as shiny as that. But, oh, look at that blue cast to it up there. What the heck is that? I think it's all doing that. Holy mama. That looks like it's got almost a shifting pigment in it. You guys see that? Look at that turquoisey color coming up. As Oakley would say, oh my goodness. Oh, hello, lover. Oh, you didn't know it before I showed it. I'm sorry, I still don't know your name. I'm going to call you Kite because I know it's not Brittany. Yeah, so there's a website it's in France, and you can just Google this, that aquarelle, the blue. It's backwards for me reading it, so I can't even read it when I'm looking at it the right way. But you'll see that and be able to understand what that says. That's the website. The first line in blue. And everything they have there is stuff made with this pigment and coloration. You're going to press the button. But it's showing up in the silver, though, Dot. That's all right. Well, you know what? So, okay, so here's another question. I was just thinking I'm going to take the big piece and do this, like one here, one there. But what can I come over that with? If I spray it with a sealer, is that going to seal away the, I think I'm just, it's rhetorical, effects of the watercolor paper being able to act like watercolor paper and blend and spread a little bit when I spray it with sealer, Kmart varnish? I wonder why the gold didn't do that, though. That doesn't show up in the gold at all. It's just showing up in the silver. So I'm thinking of all these layers, Kathy. I might actually cut that and keep that bad boy for a collage or something. Here's the woad. Oh, I like that word better. Thank you. All right. Well, sitting here looking at it isn't going to get her done, is it? Let's just move along and get a few of those on a piece of paper. And we're going to probably sacrifice another piece of paper. Look, you can see all the gold on the end of that sponge too. Or maybe you can't. I can. There you go. Crazy, crazy stuff. So this I had Sumi ink on. That goes with that. This I had those inks. That I had on the woad. Okay, let's oh my. I'm gonna need a bigger desk. If you glue it on, yes, paste, and then you can still use watercolor. If you glue it on, use yes, paste. You still use watercolor. Are you saying if I glue that piece of paper onto another piece? Does it do that on rice paper? This is what the silver does on rice paper, Kathy, if that's what you're asking me. It's got little outlines of black. Here you can see a fine outline of black on that whole thing. It looks like a thumbs up. It's a big thumb. Be quiet, Kayla. Right? And then all the black falls down to the bottom. And the silver shows with just the edge of it showing in black. That's how that ink, this ink. No, the silver and blue, it does not. It does not. It's all silver. Nope. It's all silver. Actually, looking at in that light, I saw a little hint of blue. What's happening? Look at that. My mad science. Look at that. What the hell? I never saw that before. Did I have something on my brush? I know I didn't. That's all I've had on the brush. But I guess it's the light. How the light hits it, because it looks really silver. I'm glad you asked me that so I could go back and really look at it. Oh my goodness, my new favorite ink. Yes, glue it on the watercolor paper with Yes paste. Yeah, the black goes over through the bottom. Isn't that crazy? Oh, you're going to blow up Amazon, Gayla, with that link. Oh my gosh, tissue paper. I've tried it on a whole lot of stuff. I don't remember. I tried it on Tomoe River, tracing paper, onion skin. I didn't do it on the old onion skin. Hang on. We shall try it now. I don't know. Is there a right and wrong side to the onion skin? Should the watermark be readable? I don't know. We're just going to try it. Let's just go crazy. I'm going to stir that in case any of that's settled. Okay, let's see what happens. That looks like it's black and staying black at the moment. Not bleeding through. And I'm pretty sure it stayed black on Tomoe River paper. I like this paper. Oh, of course, there's the cover that I wanted to leave in there, so I knew what I was grabbing. That's what you get for trying to read chat and do something, but I can't multitask any longer. So that's still staying black. I think it stayed black on everything but rice paper. I didn't try watercolor paper at the time. Ooh, what am I doing? My scripting's going crazy. Oh. As that dries, I'm seeing a little bit of a silver sheen. Is it coming through? No. Seeing a little bit of a silver sheen on this, but not like the rice paper. Let's let those dry and see what happens. Medical paper. Medical paper. I have no idea what medical paper is. What's the watercolor paper? 100%. It's Strathmore 400 series. 140 pounds. It's the brown cover. It doesn't say cold press. Doesn't say anything about the content of the paper that I see yet. Actual sheet size. Nope, it doesn't say. So I don't know what that is. This is taking a while to dry on here. This is, I would call this a charcoal gray as it dries. It's not stark black. Come on. Oh, Logitech, please make a new app. I don't think you guys can appreciate the... Maybe you can see it there. It's not stark black. This, I am seeing a tiny bit more of the charcoalish kind of color. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. It looks gold there. And I used the silver ink. Maybe my brush wasn't cleaned out as much. I don't know. Look at that. These are getting more interesting by the minute. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Butt paper. Where are we? Did we go from medical paper to butt paper? I missed a lot in chat. Technically, watermark readable is on the top side. Well, then I think I did it backwards. Yep, let's turn it. Flip her over. Oh no, wait a minute. Yeah, this side is the readable side. That's really crazy. Crazy. Let's try this. No, it doesn't. The ink, it does. I'll try to stir it up when I haven't used it for a while because it does have a mixing bead in the bottle. But I'm trying to stir it up pretty good. But some papers, it just doesn't show like that. It just shows black. I did several streams ago. Gosh, it's probably been a couple months ago when I first started doing this stuff. I did a lot of experiments with different inks and different papers. So you can go back and look at that, or even look at Instagram way back on my pictures, and you'll see different colors on different papers. All right, let's see what that one does. You can see these little metallic silver blobs here. You probably can't see them. Well, yeah, you can. This one that are outlined in black that it laid on this newsprint and worked. Do something real big here and see if you can see it. Yeah, look at that. It's drying right down to silver on the newsprint, which I guess means it's kind of bleeding through. Huh. Never tried it on the newsprint before. See how we trip into these discoveries? Did Patty have an agenda at the beginning of the stream? We are off the mark. I was going to paint some of these big sheets of watercolor paper that I will use to turn into a journal cover, like Kathy Arbor did on her last stream. And then I started thinking about the layers, and last night as I lay in bed not sleeping, I thought, oh, maybe you use this woad and get those, because I remember Robin using it on watercolor paper and how cool that looked. I thought that would be cool to put that down and then do some layers up from that. And then I started thinking about, before I do that and commit an 18 by 24 piece of paper, I should see how this is going to stay, what's going to blend, what's going to move something. Ha! Not possible for me, function. That's not what we do here. Yeah, this is more a free for all and experimentation, and sometimes projects get done and sometimes they don't. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. This is pretty much staying more black on this side so far. Yeah, gets a little crazy around here. But now I am actually going to move to. Unfortunately, my distractions are in the chat. I can't close the door on that unless I turn chat off. And that's the reason I'm here, to chat with all these knuckleheads. I get some of my best ideas from some of their crazy ideas. My spirit animal is a squirrel. That is true. I never really thought about it that way. All right, so without any further ado, now this is pretty much, it's still cold, but it's pretty much dry. Yeah, you have to love spontaneous here. That is really pretty to my eye in person. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab one of these mambo jumbo pieces here. It's not all going to fit in the, oh yeah, it does. I did raise my camera a little bit today, knowing I was going to eventually maybe get around to this. Hang on, I'm going to wash out this good brush rather than let it sit there with sumi ink drying on it. I'm not going to use that right now, but I am going to. So this is my plan. That even sounds funny with me saying it. Oh, Lordy. I'm going to kind of spot wet this side and do one of the characters in the silver ink here and there. All right, so let's just, I'm going to have to do this while it's still a little bit wet. I'll probably have to do these one at a time because I think they're going to dry too much before I can come back and don't get too excited, Eileen. I've already forgotten what it is. Oh, Jesus. Stirring that up pretty good. Now I'm just going to do something. And I'm going to let that sit there. And just, it's going to do what it's going to do. And then I'm going to do another little bit. Just willy-nilly. This place looks good. I'm hoping that cloud doesn't get to the edge of the water and have a squared off edge. That'll be another hard learned lesson. Oh, I miss Gayla saying something charming and witty and probably at my expense, but turn the paper. What do you mean turn the paper? What did you mean by turn the paper, Tam? Oh, you mean to make them different directions? Oh, this is going well so far. I'm going to put many layers on this, so I'm not too worried about scrambling these around because I know most of the notebook is going to be used in this orientation one way or the other. So I'm going to do, man, that looks cool. Oh, see, it's worth what? Let's see. 2:16. I started at 12:30. Hour and 45 minutes worth of experimentation to get here. Oh well. So glad you're on the journey with me to the poorhouse, and Lord knows where else we'll go. Judy. Hey, Mitz. You don't need my permission, Judy. You're old enough. Have a little hooch if you want some. All right. I'm going to try to get one down over here a little bit. Maybe off the edge. Make it look like it's going off the edge. Much like Gayla is always about to do. All right. Now I'm going to let those set up and dry. And it is working. I'm getting my silver bits on there. But now what do we do, right? Here's the question. How do I protect these? And then add more layers on top of them. And I'm trying to think of what sprays I want to use now. Or am I going to use any sprays? Do I just keep going with the watercolor and the different inks? I mean yeah, you know what I mean. There's a lot of blue in this one right here. Could spray selectively. I'll probably just do some scripting in black at some point. But I need some shapes in the background. So here's kind of what I had on the other ones, just kind of a mishmash of overlaid stencil spray as a base layer. And these were all permanent paint sprays. These are the colors, the tinted. They're transparent, but they're permanent, right? So this was a base layer, and there was going to be a lot of layers that went over top of this. And then we went down the experimentation. I got a ton of Lindy sprays. Clear gesso. If I do that, though, will the gesso reactivate this? See, I'm thinking if I seal it with anything, it would be the Kmart varnish spray. This is why my mask is silver. It's got silver paint all over it. Right, so that's, and I tore the one up so I could do these experiments. Hence, we are here. Use Lindy's. Through stencils, Eileen? Practice spray on your examples. Yeah, I'm not gonna let you people screw me up too bad. And then I was thinking somehow I could work this bad boy in there somehow, some way. Lindy's are water reactive. Yep. So is this stuff. So I'm gonna set this. These look really pretty in person. There's the bluey showing. Isn't that cool? Okay, so I'm going to set that there and let that get really dry. Now, let's go back to here. Now I'm going to have to use the silver. I don't want to lose that streak though. That's really pretty. I like that. I'm not going to lose that. I'm not going to do it. So let me what is this mishmash of a mess? Let's just do this. I'm going to wet this. Lindsay's are permanent. Oh, interesting. But while they're wet, will they reactivate the other stuff? That's the question. Let's get a little sheen going on here. Try to take some of that off. It doesn't need to be too overly wet. All right, now when are reactive until dry, then they're permanent. Huh. Eileen, you are a wealth of knowledge. I got to admit it, as much as it pains me sometimes. You bring me so much joy. Magicals are water and water. All right, let's see what happens. So that's funny on that silver paint. It's kind of resisting the ink. See that? That was that gold, Montana gold. On here, it's acting kind of the same way as it does everywhere. Good to know. I'm just putting some scribbly stuff down here so I can get something down here and come back with sprays and experiment. I don't think it's very wet over here now. It's not very dry here, but this paper seems to be really sucking it up. How would splats look on there? Of the ink? The silver ink? Ah. Well, there's one way to find out. Oh, they're resisting around this, the pictographs where I sprayed in silver there. And the overspray is resisting it. Okay, probably not the best experiment. Probably have to do them really fine. So, Eileen, put 1,000 next. Eileen, do you think the moon shadow Lindy's are just the regular metallics? When I tap my fingers, I'm thinking. You can get on Amazon or there. Where are we? Why can't the ink scripting be put on last? Well, to get it to run like this, I have to have it on wet paper. So I don't know. Oh my God, we're gonna have to do more experiments. I'm gonna just stop and do it like Kathy did it. Hang on. Let me look. Let me check the Lindy's department here. Oh Lord. I have a few magicals. I have 4 magicals. 4. Okay. So this is going to end up on a journal cover. So it's going to have to stand up to a little bit of abuse. Oh, Lord. Sat too long. Look, my Lindy's box. Let's see what awaits me in here. I haven't used these forever. They're probably all clogged. I have used these. I like these Moonshadow Mist. The Treasure Island Turquoise, and this is the Cocoa Bean Copper. I might keep those out. Let's see what else I have. Red Rose. I don't want to make it too bright. I want to make it, what the hell is that? Oh, Jack Frost. Ghostly Gargoyle White. Afternoon Delight Denim. Eileen, did you name these? Fuchsia. Hagwarts Orange. Luscious Lime. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat right now. Heliotrope Purple Plum. Magnolia Magenta Gold. Cocklebell's Coral. That's got a lot of color. Does that really come up with that many colors in it, Eileen, as a label? She used a, wasn't it a denim? That might have been a denim. I think it was a denim color. Bells of Ireland Green. Open Arms Amethyst. Freaky Frankenlime. Rhododendron Red Rose. I must have liked that. I have 2 of those. Burnt Umber. Yes, it does. Oh, I forgot the question. I had to think back a minute. Oh, God, really? And you never will, Bob. Oh. Hey, Jesus. Autumn Maple Crimson. Mango Mania. There's got to be a more simple solution. You may lose the effect of the beautiful bleeding. I know. That's why I'm thinking about putting some Kmart on there. Bucket of Blood Red. Mission Bells Brown. That was kind of old and pretty. That has gold in it, I think. Tainted Love Teal. Well, we got to pull that out there. I don't know. Wild Honeysuckle Coral. Gator Gumbo Olive. Voodoo Violet Blue. You do the voodoo. How did that thing go? Jazzy Jivin' Purple. Something Lilac Violet. That's covered over. Witch's Potion Purple. And Tiger Lily Orange Red. I thought I have more Moonshadow. Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. Let me go back to the Lindy's department. Something's not right here. I have a ton of sprays. That's when I first got started in all this crazy. I was into sprays. And then I didn't use them for a long time, and I'm sure it's not going to be pretty much. Oh, there was one of the dilutions. And this was another off-brand I bought, but I really like them. I forget what they were. They're not labeled. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Daggone it. I just broke one of my favorite pieces that I did from polymer clay. Ah, look. Somewhere it was a hand, one of those hands. Oh, I don't know. Oh well. C'est la vie. Is that Lisa? Medicine Hat, Alberta. I bet it's a little chilly up there today. Yeah, I know. I could glue it, I guess, but some of it's in tiny pieces on the floor. Oh well, off to the side. I thought for sure I had more Lindy's. Hang on, give me a minute and carry on. Yeah, there's miscellaneous little pieces everywhere. I'm going to blame it on the dilutions. That one fell out of there. Oh, here we go. I knew I had more. Just a couple others. Jesus. What's this one? Tibetan poppy teal. Oh, that was a good one. I knew there was another teal I had. Here's one that's not even been filled yet. These are dry. So when you buy Lindy's, the shipping's really cheap because they send you the pigment in a spray bottle. It's dry. And then you add water and go from there. Oh, yeah. I've seen that before. I forget what that's called. Time travel teal. Let me just kind of look for the moon shadows. That's what I want to look for. Treasure Island Aqua. Isn't that what I had out here? Turquoise. And this one's aqua. Huh. Interesting. The moon shadows have a kind of a walnut ink kind of an undertone to them. Long John Silver. Make no comments. That's still a dry one. Shabby Turbine Teal. Tiffany Blue. There's another moon shadow. Tawny Turquoise. Maybe I'll use all those different turquoise pens. Oh, what's this? Another tawny turquoise. Apparently I need to pay more attention when I reorder. Oh. All right, I've got enough to T-Bird turquoise. I must have gone on an all turquoise buying spree, and which should not be a shock to any of you people. What's this? This looks different. Gossamer Gold. All right, enough. Let's put these off to the side. Again, I should blame that breakage on Eileen. She was the one that told me I had to go get my Lindsay sprays out. So we're going to go with that. Oh my God, I got way too many out here. What the hell am I thinking? Burnt umber. Let's go with a couple of the moon shadows for now. This. I might put some water in that one, activate that one. All right, let's put these a little out of the way over here for now. And this is kind of dry. And the silver did pop up again. Hey, Shirley. Yeah, Lindsay sends you the bottle with, can you see the dry pigment in the bottom? Maybe. That's dry, it's empty. And then you add water and shake it so that you don't have to pay for the heavy bottles when you pay for shipping. I just always use tap water. So I'm going to go put some, are these all? This one I have to activate. Let me go put water in these. I'll be right back. Probably distilled water wouldn't be a bad idea, but again, not that smart. Back in a flash. Okay. Eileen, you said shake them on their sides like this rather than up and down. I guess that's so you don't clog the nozzle with pigment. There's Teresa. Hello. Hey, Azure. Welcome. I am deep into experimentation mode. We went down a rabbit hole, which led into all kind of holes, actually. These were the two I just mixed up. So what I want to do, this is at one time when I first bought my Lindsay's, when they first came out, I don't know how many years ago that was, they had trouble with their sprayers, and they said to write to them if you were having any problems, and I wrote to them, and they sent me all those that I have. They sent me a new sprayer nozzle thing that fits into the old bottle, and they work really good. So if I have some, if I run into that problem with these, I can just switch out the tops, and then we're in good shape. I'll have to remember that piece of scripting right there. I like how that turned out. I never know how they're going to turn out, and I can never hardly repeat them when I'm going full speed ahead. Hey, Gilly. All right, Eileen. So now, I don't know how these are going to look over this purple and blue. This is a sacrificial page, and that piece isn't dry in there. I don't know why. Let me get rid of that. But the splats did work, Kathy. They did the same thing. But they resisted over that silver paint and didn't land right. You can see this one over here, where that had that silver circle sprayed with that acrylic paint, and then the ink resisted and didn't show up. See how much those are? You can make out what they were, and that kind of not so much. All right, let's. Let me grab a stencil out of here. Just any old stencil will do. All right, I'm going to try to spray over top of this to see how this works out. So here I'm working on the ones who just joined. I'm trying to get an 18 by 24 piece of watercolor painted on both sides, to then in turn make a journal cover with it that's cut and scored and folded from the one piece to make it a journal cover with pockets. Kathy Arbor, who's in chat, you can click on the 3 dots next to her name and find her channel. She did a live stream the other day and demoed this. Hey, Lori. And it looked really cool. So I thought, I'm going to do that. And then as I thought about it when I laid in bed last night, oh, I had a couple things in my head. And that's where we went off the track. I should have just done it like Kathy did it. She had it perfected. So anyway, we were into all kind of inks. So now I'm using this. Don't even ask me how we got there. I'd have to go back and look at it to figure it out again. But it's the silver black Sumi ink that when used on rice paper, here's a sample of the gold. The black goes through the rice paper and the gold lays on top, right? Well, the silver does the same thing. Oh, here's my silver piece, right? Here's the silver piece, right? Does the same thing. So I tried that on watercolor paper because that only works on rice paper. That doesn't work on a lot of different papers that I've tried it on. So I thought, well, I'm playing with watercolor paper. I was kind of doing this at first, letting the woad watercolor bleed and the Sumi ink bleed. And I kind of like this cloudiness around here. And I thought, I wonder what this silver ink would look like. So that little strip there is what it looks like. And if you look at it, see the colors coming up in there? It's almost like a color shift that's settling on top. So after a couple Hello Lovers, I've decided to incorporate that in the overall big page that I do. So I did some of these, right? And they're setting aside drying now. And so I sacrificed papers that I sprayed earlier this morning with some of these tinted sprays through stencils to try to get a background layer. And I re-wet them. They're permanent, so they didn't run. But now I want to try putting something wet on top of this and see if it runs or if I have to spray it first before I go with other layers. So that's where we are in a nutshell. So, all right, let's just do it. Let's just put this down here. Which one did I want to use? Aqua. I'm going to use this aqua one. It's got a real pretty light sheen in it and see the brownish color. And these settle pretty quickly. So you got to always be at the ready for a few little shakes before you, you know what? I'm going to start over here and add a couple. Will you spray or no? And here's the silver one I just mixed up. Oh, crap. And I just drug the stencil through it. So we lost that shape pretty much, but I want to see what activates on there. Or reactivates for the scripting that I did with that ink. You can see the turquoise showing up where it overlapped with that. And the brown where it settled. I'll have to look back where I when I bought it and put the link out there, see if it's still available. Rankin Studios, hi, welcome. I did look it up for somebody not long after I found it, and it was still there. So I don't know if they don't have it anymore or what that deal is there. I don't know if you guys can see the turquoise sheen in this, how these really are supposed to look. Everybody's going to Lindy's.com. They're going to have a big order, wondering what the heck happened. This is what happened. You people can't control yourselves. Let me get a more open stencil. Oh, jeez. Almost knocked that over. Like a bull in a china shop. Hang on. Let's use this stencil. This is one of Jones. Is this Jones? This must be Jones with this size. Yeah, it is Jones. I thought that was mine. Ha! Well, it is mine. I own it, but it's Joan's design. Okay, so this silver paint of these pictographs was an acrylic spray, so this is probably going to resist that as well. Oh, you found the Chinese gold. Thanks, Janet. So anybody looking for this? Is it this one, this gold? Or is it this gold? Well, I don't know. Click that link and you'll find one of these golds, I guess. Don't think I like the small stencil, not adding. I know. I agree. I agree. And all this other stuff in the background is like, I'm gonna have to start from scratch. What's this one? Tawny turquoise. All right. This paper's kind of warped a little bit. And my hand is completely inked. That's okay. There's my baby wipes. The black gold. Okay, it was this. This is the ink Janet just put the link up for. This one. Should have the silver there too. Once you find that, you should find the silver. Silver. How is that turquoise? Well, I show you. It's called a moon shadow mist. It has like a walnut stain base, and the shimmer is the turquoise. So let me hang on. Let me just spray this on here so you can see what it looks like. That's what the moon shadows are. They have that. They all have that dark brown color, but as they dry, you'll see the mica. Watch, this is cardstock. Do they work on cardstock highlighter? Do they just get sucked into the cardstock? I can see it clearly on here, but I can't very well raise that up. Sweet Moses. Let me spray a piece of rice paper. Spray them on rice paper and see what happens. I can already see the blue start to come up in that. So I don't know if you can see that on camera, but as the brown dries, you see the, you really can't see that, can you? You can see the sheen of the turquoise. You really can. Oh, for Pete's sake. All right, let's just do it the hard way. Honestly. So see how this dried with the little flecks of the turquoise in those droplets? That's what it does. The base of it is that walnut stain, and then the shimmer. So you get a more antique look, basically. There you go. That's what they do. But I think, as we're seeing, some papers, if you wet it first, it's better. Yeah, you tell me. Oh, wait, way to go. All right, let's turn it over. Let's wet it. And now let's spray it. Oh, she's right, as usual. You can see the mica in it right away. Well, I can. I don't know if you can. Why is that not showing on the camera? Hello. Let me let it disperse a little bit. Maybe when it dries, you can see it better. You can see a little bit through there where it looks green. That's actually the turquoise mixing with the brown. But when it dries, it separates. You just have to trust me. Yeah, it's there. And some of them are a lot more apparent than others, actually. But I don't like them on here. Of course, it's too busy. It's got too much crap on it. Kathy, what sprays did you use again? What brand did you use? I'll show you that again when it dries. This is a mess. That's giving me agita just looking at that. Gotta put that in the no thank you stack right there. She did use Lindsay's. Okay, that's what I thought, but not the. Okay, let's try another piece of this stuff. But I don't have the you know what? Let me do it on the gold side. I don't want to lose. I should just cut this off and set it off to the side because I like that. And that will show up somewhere one of these days. Maybe. How you like that for a definite? Put that in my little basket of tricks over here. We will see that come up later. But here's the gold that I did on watercolor paper through a stencil. And look how much of that came through. And this was the gold in the scripting. I like the silver better, but it's still kind of there. All right, so let's see. So if let me find that denim color. Where are you? Tibetan teal. Afternoon Delight denim. This is not a moon shadow. This is just the metallic spray. After spraying, I used acrylic paint on top of that. And then, God, I just watched it the other day, Kathy. What did you do with the acrylic paint on top of it? That's pitiful. Oh, the white. The white. Let's just do this. So just a little mist. I'm not going to wet that completely. And let's throw, this is one of Joan's stencils called Tribal Shields. Ink and gold, it's like type of a trap. Yeah, I remember that. It's all coming back to me now. I'm telling you, my memory's getting scary. Oh, ask Dave. Poor rascal. And then Kathy took her stencil, like we do when you use the sprays, and flipped it over and used it as a stamp. Right, and let it pick up put some pattern down on the other page. I'm just cleaning that off now, blotting the wetness off of that. And then that's how some of her inks ran together as she was doing that, which came out really cool. I thought I had a cool idea, but I'm not sure at this point. Let's see, 3 o'clock, 2.5 hours in. How good that idea was. But yeah, I can't picture what stencil and what color spray would look good over what I did there. Maybe I just need to do something completely different there. And now you can start seeing that turquoise sheen in there as it's starting to dry a little bit. Maybe. Yeah. Come on. So maybe I do something different. Maybe I really want that design in there. Hey, Safia. Use red. Red what? Red, red, red. Red ink, red spray, red acrylic. What are you talking about, lady? I am head deep into my jelly plate drawer. I'm looking for my round one, which I found. Not too bad. Hey, Rachel. We're still here. We didn't get too much further. One experiment after the other. Most not ending well, but ending, thank goodness. So now I'm thinking, I know that's where we get in trouble a lot of times. Will the Lindy's work on a jelly plate? Eileen, you know it's going to resist. Color combos you have used before and use that. Of the sprays, you mean, Kathy, or just mean in general? Just in general. So I'm thinking. Sheesh. I might leave that bottom one on there. I'm thinking, what if I do some archival pigment ink like Tim Holtz? That is thinking. Yeah, every time I think, take a drink. We'll make it a drinking game. So I was thinking, if I get, like, put some paint on here, lift it off on this, right? Use this as a stamp and put that somewhere on the paper, which I don't think is going to work that great because the paint's thicker, the paper has texture. It's going to come out with a real foggy design on it. But what's left on the plate will kind of have that negative of that imprint on watercolor paper. How is that going to work? Let's just do it on here first. Let's throw another sheet of this to the wind. This was the corner I liked the least. We'll use this. All right, so now I got these sprays everywhere. Let me move some of these. Yeah, Xander's going on at 4:30, and I will be off before then. I'll be exhausted from the mental stress of it all. Again, mostly from Eileen and Gayla. Plus their little hearts. They're just my easiest targets. All right, I'm going to move these out of the way for now. I may come back. I may not. Kathy makes everything look so easy that everybody thinks they can just turn around and go run off and do what she did. Well, let me tell you, I'm going to get rid of this because it's giving me a little bit of the shakes. I'm really surprised how that ink worked on this newsprint. Oh, look at the blue there. Oh my goodness. Gotta love it. You know what I did in the very beginning? My first idea. Oh, Lord. Use Versamark Clear Nocturne. Don't have it. Yes, that was the Sumi ink, the silver black on the newsprint. Okay, tapping because my brain is starting to hurt. Thank you very much. Um, okay, let me think about this. See, if I do this though, there's going to be circles on that piece of paper. It's going to get folded, so it's not going to be a, big surface. I think the widest surface, you might see this whole print, but most of it would be broken up. But what paint to do that with? Oh, I wanted to tell you guys, I heard from Jude. She went back and watched my stream where I showed her Happy Mail. And she answered a couple questions. One of them was the gold ink. Is Golden's fluid acrylic iridescent gold fine? Which I have, but mine doesn't look like that for some reason. It just felt so nice. Somebody thought it was screen printing ink, but it is not. Had I known that 24 hours before, I would not have bought screen printing ink. Oh, hang on. Where are we here? Take your Aztec stamp and rub it with black stays on and then stamp the paper. You mean this one, the Zodiac one? Probably if it didn't have all this paint on it. I know, it did. It looked different, Eileen. Maybe from using it down under. It had some kind of chemical exchange in there. Looked really nice. PBO Dynas. Haven't seen you use those lately. Huh. So if I do that, I'm going to have big circles of, I feel like, like what color is throwing me off right now that I want to have big circles of, right? Do I want to make it kind of something very transparent and sheer? That's less likely that the stamped version of this will show. Yes, I do have too much choice. Yeah, I have Murphy's oil soap that would take right off. I just don't want to do that right now. And take up that time. So maybe while I ponder, I'll do the other side of this with these marks. Uh-oh, got a little black schmutz on there, but that's okay. That'll be buried. All right, that's what I'm going to do. That'll kill some of my thinking time. I think Eileen's got me pretty much beat on that one. Eileen wins that battle. For sure. Oop. All right, not looking at the chat for a minute while I concentrate my little brain here. And just make some sort of a swooshing mark. Now I'm going to just put some of these here, hither and yon. Just going to scatter some of these. Make some a little bigger, some a little smaller. Going to have this one kind of go off the bottom like I did the other one. On the other side, ish. All right, let's just set that up there. Oh, that's not going to be flat now, is it? Well, it warps. There we go. That's better. I'll set that up there and let that dry. And now we're back to the same thing. What am I going to do? You know what? I'm going to go back to one of these because this is too busy. This just has some stark places on it. So oh, look, I got a blank one. Okay, now we're talking. Now I got something to work with. I know, Vaughn, right? God knows what I'm saying. We do not know what's happening here. I mean, I know I was feeling a little bit off this morning, but ooh, I'm really off. No comments, Gayla. Let's just do a little something on here. I really like how this looks on the watercolor paper, though. I got to tell you. I'm not lying. Don't need it puddling. I haven't even started. But let's just say, sure, I'm done. I should be done. Honestly. I'm just going to scatter these and try to throw a couple circles over these of the jelly idea. I don't know. I don't want it to just have stark circles here and there. I guess I could and just let's see what happens there. Hi, Libby. That's a new name. Welcome. Any jelly plate that I use, unless I use the little one. I wanted to use it for this to get this design on there. That's why I thought about the circle jelly plate. That's where that came into play. And you know, maybe this has gone horribly wrong, hasn't it? We are off the rails. Donald Duck. Oh, that would be probably better than what I'm doing. I think you just do it and learn for the next one. I think I'm with you, Kat. That's drying up. Let me hit that with the heat gun and get that dry a little bit quicker. That's the way I live. If you're not totally off the rails or living on the edge, you're taking up too much room. Where's my plug. There we go. Okay. Claudie, hi, that's a new name. Welcome, hello, and welcome to the disaster. Oh. Let's see if this changes anything drying it with the heat gun. You know, if I got nothing else out of this other than seeing how this silver on watercolor paper kind of has a color shift to it, that's golden. Although it's silver, but you know what I mean. Also, what looks cool to my eye is how the black bleeds into the water. I guess because of the strokes that each shape takes, it kind of washes the little bit of water on the surface in different directions. But see how swirling in different directions that is? And then look at this one. You can see it kind of flares, and this one's all kind of like out there. It looks like a Running Man. That looks like a cartoon. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so let's screw it. Let's just put something on here. Oh no, I put all my paints away. Great. You know what? Maybe I'll use. Let's go bold. Go bold or go home. Isn't that what we say around here? I'm going to use this bronze. Put all my jelly print stuff away. I got to dig it all out of there. Oh, you're in for a real treat here, Claudie. Anything can happen. This is real life mistakes made live for your viewing pleasure. I'm going to center this. Ooh, that's sticky. Get that all on there. Okay. And let's just see what happens. Maybe I'll just do a couple of these. So when the book folds, you only see like part of a circle and part of a circle here and there. It could either be a disaster or brilliant. So let's just shut it up and go for it, shall we? Tired of thinking. That's why my brain hurts. I don't think thinking is necessarily healthy for me. I must have some boogers on my plate here. All right, let's get this down. Try to get it in the center-ish. And when you push this down, it's going to squidge a little bit, so it's going to blur that design, but it'll get a better coat of paint on the texture plate itself. All right, so let's see what happens. Let's pull this up and just throw this bad boy down here. That's actually kind of cool how it went over the silver. I don't hate that. Let's see what happens with this. Oh, that pulled a lot of extra paint off, so that's going to be real sketchy, but that's okay. Let's just do, let's just do it. That's how we roll. Hang in there, Judy. Eventually, I'll do something. Other than experiments. Just kind of my specialty. Well, that, of course, obliterated that because it's opaque. but the design is kind of cool to be on a journal cover. Thinking you'd only see like this much of it somewhere. Huh. Maybe I can do that in between those rather than over them. Because I do like where that stamped image just tippy-toed into that gold. Silver, rather. Right down here, you can probably see a little bit better. So, you know what? We're just going to flip and do it, people. But I want a little more. Let me put the lid on this before we have a disaster. We do not need yet another disaster. And this is the side that's drying. This side is dry. So let's start over here. I definitely am going to need a bigger desk. And let's just, I'm going to need more paint on here to get enough to stamp. What I think I'm going to do is put paint on here and use this for a stamp pad for a few impressions. And these, I'm going to overlay these. Oh no, I'm going to have to sneeze. I'm a violent sneezer, so you might want to back away from your computer or put in earplugs or something to that effect. Okay, let's go right up here like this. Oh, that's not bad. It's kind of misty up here. Doesn't have a great impression, but I love how it looks when it overlaps. So I'm just going to add a little bit more paint and smooth it out again and keep the stamp pad thing going. And then what I think I'll do is get out, oh, you know, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get out my tiny jelly plates for the solid impression of solid paint that I want to put down there, like right off the jelly plate. And use that so it's not so big. Oh, thanks, Tori. Good seeing you. Glad you're feeling better. And remember, this is going to be folded up. It's not going to be, you're not going to see this whole page when it's done. If it ever gets done. I know, if it ever gets done. I think I'm going to throw another one in there since it's going to be layered over with different stuff. I may even do some really thin collage pieces or washi over this. So it's basically going to be Kathy's journal cover shape, but nothing like what she did to it. So I'm making it my own. Which I should have done Kathy's. I should have done Kathy's. Something red. Something red will probably find its way in here. Maybe my own chop. I have my PTP chop. All right, so I like how that looks. That little bit of metallic over that silver sumi. And that little impression of the zodiac bits here and there. Right? It's not solid. It's just another hint of a layer. You're surprised mine's going to be different. Come on, Eileen. Well, I might as well finish this up with the stamp here. I will definitely need to hit this with some Murphy's oil soap or something. It looks pretty. Oh, mercy. This is a lot of paper. Ah. Save yourself, Kathy. Oh, that was missing a whole bunch of stuff on there. Probably the way the paper wasn't laying right. Darn it. It's okay. It's all right. I can, whatever parts I don't like, if you start to incorporate collage and other opaque colors, whatever you don't like, that's what you just put the next layer over. So like this little bird right there, that's probably going to have something over it at some point. Keep an eye on the time. Good God, I'm almost on here 3 hours. Sweet Moses. I know, right? Function. What is your name? Why am I calling you Function? Did I miss it? I know I asked it before. Oh, that one came out good. Oh, Mama liked that one. It's going to have a lot of bronze on this plate. Oh, Andrea. Okay, great. I saw somebody say hi to Andrea earlier, but I didn't know who that was, obviously. I'm going to cover that one up a little bit more, too, because I like that overlapping. Oh, there's Cass's channel. Cass is Kathy Arbor. That confuses people, too, I think. All right, and since, how can I do that? No, I was going to try to get one going off the edge there, but I think it's too close to that one. Okay. All right, so now, I'm going to buckle up my sleeves. Pull out some of these little guys. I'm going to go with the circle because I like me some circles. So I wonder what will happen. I have that impression. I'm trying to do this semi-quickly. I have the impression of the stamp on here, right? Now I'm going to try to, oh, crap. That's not going to work. I need to put this on a stamp block. This little thing will drive me crazy. No, we're not. I'm just going to have to use this one. Okay, I'm just going to use this as a, put this on here and use it as a stamp. And try to pick up some of these bits on here. Will it work? Jelly to jelly? No, it's too dry, I think. No, that's not going to work. Okay. But that's kind of cool. Do I want to try to just hit a little bit of this, like take an edge and pop it here and there? Can I do that without just dropping it on its face and losing all that? Oh, that's well, prepare yourself for a possible, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually interrupt some of this other edge on here with the design, so it's not total bronze immersion. I love pistachios. I used to have a bowl for dinner when I was single. Not supposed to eat them now. Okay, can I do this? Let's try down here at the bottom on one of the corners, because one of these corners is going to get cut off in case it doesn't work. Too dry. Just got a little schmutz on there. Okay, well, there you go. There's that answer. But I think that's going to be cool. I'm going to let that, I'm going to pick that up with something else. Oh, hands are getting cold. That must mean the temperature's dropping. Let's pick it up on, oh, onion skin. Hello. Let's do that. Shall we? We shall. Let me move this out of the way for a moment. I don't want to lose that. That's pretty cool. So I need to get one of my really thin glazing colors. Light gold. Well, I'm going to use my new champagne gold that I was able to find. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, Jackie. You just get a thin layer out here. And this is the much sought after Martha Stewart champagne gold they don't make anymore. It's not the champagne that looks gold. It's the color called champagne gold. That's confusing a lot of people out there. Their champagne is a new color, which is completely different from their champagne gold that's been discontinued. And this looks like it's got a little medium at the top of this when I opened it. Oh, what happened, CB? Got a stalker. Let's see if that's a little, that's better. Okay. Let's just, oh no, I have this. That's still wet. No, it dried to my, that's good. All right, let's see what happens here. Oh, watermark. Copy machine would not copy real money. Okay, you just said that out loud, CB. The feds will be there shortly. A little counterfeiting enterprise on the side, calling it crafts. Oh, that'd be pretty tape. I see washi tape and everything. Oh, in case I didn't tell you guys, I think I did. I'm coming out with my own washi tape, which will encompass some of my pictographs, black on white, white on black, different sizes, and some of my abstract watercolors and collages with slices cut out of them. Yeah, that didn't last. Bye-bye, Mr. whoever you were. Might be a couple months before it actually comes to fruition. Too late, CB. Oh, bless his heart, he's history. Well, that's really pretty, but you don't see any of the stamp design in there really. But the crinklage of this paper makes that really cool. And I can see half of this being a background on a collage, or maybe in my bigger book, the whole thing. That paint is so pretty. And now look what's on there. And like it never ends. All right, let's get back to the business at hand because my time's running short here. I can deal with that later. Oh, I see where I've got little bits of texture that peeled off my plate on here that are looking like little mini black boogers. We'll deal with that later. So now, you know what? I might just oh, you know what else I can do? I can use my foil pens and add some little ditties. Oh my goodness. That's what I'm going to do. Don't let me forget it. Eileen, Gayla, Z, CB, Joe, all you mods, remind me that before I finish this bad boy, we're going to get out the pens and foil some on here with whatever, line scripting, whatever. Hey, Tanya. Oh, Rachel, did you get your studio squared away to be able to figure out how many of those cabinets that you're going to use? I meant to ask you that. So that'll be cool on here. Right? And what else? Let me look at my washi tapes that I've made. Maybe I'll put a little splash of washi here and there. Got a couple. Yeah, man, foil pens. I got to get out of my own head and figure it out. So this is on some of Robin's coffee stained paper that she sent me that I made some tape out of. So maybe a strip of that here and there. But I have to really look at the folds because I don't want to put this where a fold's going to go. But I have 4 of those, so I could use these strategically. I could put this on later. I don't have to put that on now, right? But that's a good possibility. Here's some on white. I don't know about that. I need a little poparoo. Oh, I have 5, 6. Oh, I forgot I did 2 sheets of that, I think. That'll go on there. But I think the background needs to be colored more. I don't want it to just be white. So what do I do? Pray tell. I like these the best. But red sprays. Lindy sparkly ones. And through stencils. Or, yes. Oh, great. But I think the only red ones I have are like red. Like, like really red. I think. I don't know. What's this? Back to the sprays. Eileen, honest to God. Tiger Lily orange. I don't think I have red. I have pink and orange, I think. No reds in there. Did I have reds in the other box? Red rose. That's the same one, red rose. I'm going to spray those in something else and see what they look like. Orange. Apparently I'm not a big red person for sprays. Fuchsia. All right, let's see what this one looks like. Oh, mercy. Not on here. Oh, you know what? That's another thing that came to me in bed last night as I lay awake, is maybe I would take some of the copper paint. Oh, I just had an idea. Oh, we're going to do this real. What time is it? 3:30. Oh, hello, lover. Hang on. Let me see if this works. Oh, I just had a stroke of genius. I better say it out loud before I forget it. I'm going to take the copper paint and I'm going to script with it. And then I'm going to put the patina on it and see if I can get that, if that'll turn. Just like that, what that's going to look like. Oh. But now I got to figure out what brush to use because I'm not going to use any of my good, my good scripting brushes. For sure. So I got to find a brush. Put my cap on my bronze. So I thought about this last. See, I forget stuff. I should write it down, but then I got to get up and write it down, and then we're awake again. All right, now I got to find a brush that I can sacrifice without tears to this project. I have some cheapo Chinese brushes. Like these little bamboo-y ones here. Like these numbers. It wouldn't break my heart if I lost this one. Because that's going to go in the metal paint. Okay, let's do this. Let's do it, people. I know, I do that sometimes, Sherry, but when I'm in the middle of the night, I hate to wake up and even on dark mode, why did I never think of this? I did think of it. Why didn't I never remember it? This is a better question. Going down another hole, Larlu. How you doing, honey buns? Okay. Get some of the water out of that. Now let's see if I can even make anything look like scripting with this brush. It does come to a point, but 340. Good Lord. Okay, here we go. And I got to be able to repeat this for a second coat, right? Let's just do like a big circle. I've never done this on watercolor paper either. Hey, Judy. I'm in the room, you know. Hey. That's enough for a test. All right, let's lay this aside. I'm going to get out. I'm going to heat gun this one. I'm going to try to dry this quickly. You're going to dry this first layer and then paint a second layer. And while that's wet, you spray it with the activators over here. If this works, uh-oh, I have an invention. Huh, it's possible. I don't know. Will I remember it? That's the question. Oh, way to go, CB. That probably sends a direct feed into the feds. You might want to take off now. Go into hiding. All right, now the tricky part is to get this to line up again. And it doesn't really have to be exact, because what's cool about it is the copper will show wherever this the wet layer, where the what's dry, what doesn't get, how can I say it? Whatever doesn't have a fresh layer of wet paint on it at this point will just be copper paint. Right? It's the wet, and this is going to take a while to set up and activate. So we'll probably end here, and then I'll post pictures of it later when it actually turns, if it works. If it doesn't, I'll post a picture of me crying in the corner. Probably not, but you know. All right, I try to get most of this out of this brush. This may have been a sacrifice on this brush. These bristles are nasty. All right, let me put you in the water right now. Let me get some of this stuff sprayed. And I wanted to do another experiment on this, because I had some of these patina papers I've done come out nicer and different than some of the others. So this one I'm going to spray with the metal Modern Masters Metal Effects. This one I'm going to spray with the Tiffany spray from Swelligant, even though this paint I all used was Modern Masters. I think this is a prettier bronze paint. So this will give me an idea. Ooh, that smells like vinegar. I'm going to put a little bit more in here. Now, the hard part of this would be what's going to happen to the rest of this paint where that chemical is when it dries if I do it on a cover. Follow me? You dig? And let's do, while we're here, I'm going to set this aside and let this start to cook. And I want to see what color this comes out. Let's just grab this, since we're going to be using these colors. And what stencil, Eileen? What stencil? Pictographs? Too small? Tribal border? Iron Gate? This one? Too cartoony? Maybe just pictographs? Too small? Let's do Iron Gate. So this color is Rhododendron Red Rose by Lindy Stamp Gang. I'm going to go right down through here. It's going to resist on this acrylic. And this is so fine, I don't know that it will or not, but I want to see how it goes with these things. So we're going to just, should I go this way so I get more? No, I like to see it. No, I'm going to go this way. All these decisions. I want to get more of a streak down there, but I wonder how much spray I got on my new computer. Let me see if this is going to spray first correctly. Nope, I'm going to need to see. I'm going to need a new tip. Hang on. I just happen to have some new tips in my new tip basket. I'm going to lay that piece I just painted on the floor, and I'm going to put a little more of this activator on here. Hang on. All right. This one is apparently clogged, and this is what I was telling you about. That's one of the older colors I had from Lindy's. They had trouble with some of their sprayers, and they were sending out these to replace them all. I know, but it's pretty. It's red, but it's got pink. It's got pink shimmer in it, so I don't know if this is appropriate for my project. Hey, Eileen, what color red should I use? Maybe I'll order from Lindy's. Hey, Gina. Welcome. All right, here goes nothing. Hold on to your... I'm not going to spray it as strong. See, that's a very pinky red. And see how you can use it as a stamp from the spray. No idea. I don't use red. Holly! Are you crazy? So, you know what? Let's do this. All right. Now you got me thinking. Oh, God. Where the hell is the... Here it is. The denim. And while that's still a little bit wet, I'm going to grab a different stencil. Just for giggles that I have here on top. And let's go through with this. Hopefully it'll spray. And that's kind of what Kathy did. So they kind of blended a little bit while they were wet. Try not to get that all over my hands. What time is it? 3:54. I'm gonna go at 4 o'clock. 3.5 hours of all this crap is about all my brain can go. Color bigotry. You hate orange? I like orange. Red Sumi ink. You know what? I was looking for red Sumi ink at one time, and all I could find was tattoo ink. Is there such a thing, Rankin? I don't know your first name, sorry. So how about I had a thought. Fleeting, as it were. I have this, I have lots of red acrylic. Terry, okay, great. Oh, you know what would be a good, I bet you, and how would I do it? Through a stencil? I'm going to turn that over. I've been using this for spray painting different things. That's how I got those pictographs on the oh, bucket of blood. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. It is a red color. Where the hell was it? The label must not look that red, or I just overlooked it, but you are right. That's a dark color. Crimson, maple crimson. Oh, because it looks brown. Okay. That's why. Now that I see it out, it is more red, but the edge of that label over here was looking kind of dark to me. You're dark to me. What was I going to do with this anyway? I was going to spray something. Oh, I was going to pounce some black gold. I think that would look good with this big page that we're doing. Spraying acrylic ink. I'm not going to do this. That's going to make a mess on there. I'm just going to use this mask. And we'll do it on this. And watch, this one probably won't spray either. Oh, no, that's going to... Oh, this is a moon shadow. So it's going to come out with that brownish kind of color over it. And what was this one? The crimson. That's very brown, but it's going to have red shimmer in it. That's leaking too. I have to change that cap. That one might work, the crimson. I'll have to let those sit. Oh, mother is tired. All right, I'm going to change this out because that one's having a little issue. Now it does look like blood in my trash can where all those two nozzles are dripping all over the papers. That might not be too bad a red, Eileen. See how it goes over that silver and kind of... Oh, no, this was the black. This wasn't silver. You can see it looked like a different color over the black Sumi ink that's under there. Amy, thank you. I've heard that before too. And actually I tried that on my... I usually do that on my sprays, like my Kmart varnish and that rose gold paint spray and stuff that I use. All three of my, well, two of the three of my gold, Montana golds are clogged. And I couldn't get them unclogged. Can't wait until February. I'm training some on the next 3 weeks. What kind of training do you do? Gayla probably needs some. So this red, you think... I'm just trying to let this dry down. He can. See if the shimmer... It does have a little pinky purple shimmer to it. When it dries, see the difference now? Maybe, can you see it? In that center of that circle. Let's see if I can get it to hit the light right, where you can see the shimmer. Maybe not. All right, it's just not going to work right, is it? It does look redder on screen than it does here in purpose. Oh, Jesus, training them for my job. I retired in December. Oh, wow. Good for you. I have a plan for retirement soon. It's going to require me to hit the lottery. So as soon as that lines up, I'm out. Yeah, the shimmer's too pink. I need a red. It's like, I don't know why you can't see that on here like I can on the camera. Nope, can't see it. Can't see it. But I think adding some of this black gold in some fashion to this, maybe just circles of that. Investigation pharmacy. Oh, that sounds interesting. You've probably studied Gala at some point. Did you get the license plate of the bus, Gala, that keeps running over you and backing up to do it again? I have her ruby red acrylic. I do have that, Judy, actually. Research drugs. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, so see, this is dried down and it's brown. It's got a little glimmer of red in it, but it kind of looks orange because the way the two blend. So that's not a good color. That's too pink. That's too pink. That's too orange. I need a red that's just right. I would love to find some red Sumi ink, though. Is anybody on that? Parrish, that was the license plate. Oh, a vanity plate. Fancy bus. Oh, bless your little heart. Look how that dried. How it looks like it all, well, it is black coming through there. But the angle that I was looking at, it looked like it was, it looked kind of cool with that open work with the black coming through it. Huh. Interesting. This is an experiment gone bad that needs to go away. Giving me agita. Looking at it. Well, I'm going to wrap it up, kids. And Xandra's going to be on in a half an hour. Her channel is Scraps to Beauty. Oh, let me show you this, what's happening over here before I unplug. Here's what's going on with the patina scripting. It's starting to change. It's at that mossy stage now. So I don't know how that's going to affect all this other liquid all over this paper. There's a tinge of color to it. You can see this one's more turquoise. This one's more green. But nothing saying I can't do that on a different kind of paper that would be more collage friendly. Jerry's on Aroma has Chinese red paste ink. I wonder if you can, I guess you could water that down, right? I don't know. We'll see. I'll be online shopping while I'm watching Xandra. I'm my own worst enemy. All right, guys. God love you for hanging in with me through this one. Sweet Lord. I am going to use a quill pen on the cover when I get there towards the end for a wild ride. I'm like at the rodeo. Stay on this channel for 8 seconds or more. You should get a trophy. All right. See you guys at Z's. I'm going to grab a bite, wash my hands, and go to work tomorrow. So, all right, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it. See you again sometime. Don't know when.